I'm on the wrong camera. Ha.
Oh.
Well, that went well. And now I'm too low down. There we go. Right. As you can see, we are well prepared this morning. So welcome to the Tuesday stream where me and Modders will be building our motorbike. We've got 1 or 2 episodes left. And John will be building some random stuff.
Yeah. Random
Maybe
stuff.
Scaffolding to get himself out of that hole he keeps digging.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Okay. So before I change screen, because it won't fit. So basically, after I went off stream yesterday, I threw most of the Victor together. So it's it's big, but it's nice. So I think what I want, I'll tell you what I want. What I really, really want is the mask set for this. But I need to order it from the UK, and it's going to take a while to get here. So there's not much more I can do on this. I'm going to put this aside for this session and work on other things. I think what I'm thinking about, yesterday I was playing with the Triebflügel, silly German thing, and made the scaffold for it and all that sort of gag. I think I'm going to be playing with bits and pieces for a diorama, because I don't do dioramas. So I'm just going to be pottering around with, this is the Edward Mark 1 Spitfire. And I had bought, it's an ICM kit of all the bits and pieces. So you've got I just broke a leg off the armament preparation table, oxyacetylene, and all the people and whatnot. So I think I'm just going to play with them and try to get them
orchestrated.
Yes, why not? Good word, thank you.
Thanks.
You know, those swimmers.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But yeah, and you guys do the bike build.
Yes, boss. By the way, I've got the sniffles today, so if I keep cutting the sound out, it's because I'm sniffing.
Fair enough.
Not because I've taken any illicit substances. I'm just trying to clear my nose because it keeps tickling. I got a really nice message not long before we went live off Mr. Childs.
Oh.
He's had a donation with a really lovely letter off a channel, one of our subscribers.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So he was saying thank you, which is lovely. And thank you to the person who sent it. You know who you are. It's been most appreciated. Matthew says, in the office today, so we'll miss the stream. Have a great one, folks. See you later, Matthew. Do make sure to be here for the members stream tomorrow, if you can. David says, morning all. Whoever was in early as well. Laugh out loud. Hello, David. Dave says, Posty just delivered my Airfix Spitfire T9 from Jadlams. Ooh, nice.
2, 3, 4.
GM says, Annyeonghaseyo, David, and to everyone else joining in. Hello, GM. And he says, Mikey, not much of a Spitfire fan. Beware. I like Spitfires. Problem is, I'm not someone who likes to build the same thing all the time. But I'm realizing that I'm starting to go, ooh, Spitfire. I'll get that. I'm realizing I've just built 3 or whatever. Like, ooh, I like that variant. That'll go nicely. No, stop it. Tiff says, hello, folks. Welcome in. Please don't forget to hit that like button on your way in. Thank you. Yeah. Who's got the squeaky chair?
Oh, that was me.
Brooklyn, did you all do it?
I dropped my canopy and I didn't want to stand on it if it was on the floor. So I was maneuvering myself to get off the chair to look on the floor, and it was on the desk next to me anyway. So it's all good.
I've just realised. Guess who's back in the UK? Mr. Evans.
Oh,
should be, I think.
Righto.
Yeah. Oh, David says, Gary, yes, I know there was quite a discussion yesterday on Spitfires. Yeah. Bob says, good morrow all. Good morrow, Bob.
60.
Hello.
David says, Spitfires. GM says, I've got lots and lots of Spitfire kits, Mikey. More than I will live long enough to build. Woohoo! David says, there could be a group build in the future. Mark 1 Spits. Yes. We were discussing that yesterday, weren't we?
We were.
Might have to persuade Mr. Morris. Maybe it could be a Monday build or something. GM says, Bob, David, I have Spitfires. Yeehaw. Excellent. Bob says, I might have made another oops. Luddite extraordinaire here got confused by Discord, bought the dummies book. Unfortunately, there were still 2 strong beasts in my eBay basket.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That'll be 14 you've bought. Have you thought about having a word with yourself, Bob? You could do them all different colours, I suppose. GM says, Bob, no! David, we'll have to get a Mark 1 Airfix. My 124th is coming along slowly now that the missing part arrived from Airfix last week. Yeah, I wouldn't do a 124th. It's too big. I haven't got the space. But they are lovely kits. Bob says, Spitfires. My current one is the Mark 18. Nice. I think once I've done... Because we've done a Mark 9, haven't we, John?
We've done a Mark 9, yeah, the beer barrel one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got another Mark 9 to do from Academy because I bought it and didn't realise I'd already got one. And I've done a Mark 14. So once I've done the Mark 1, I think maybe get the TR9. And then other than that, that's it. Because they're the sort of main ones that I wanted. Main thing I want next is Stalwart. But that'll wait. Oh, Duke says, good day, you beautiful people. Working soon. Catch you later. Later, dude.
Sure.
Julie says, morning, afternoon, evening all. Hello, Julian.
Hello.
Jim, I've yet to find a Mark 12 in 1/72 scale. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know of one.
Ooh. David says, good day, Duke. Joe says, good morning, afternoon, and evening to all. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Bob, at least the extras are forward walkers. Now, who do we inflict those on? Built mine yesterday. Very complicated compared to side walkers. Sounds interesting. Side walker and a front walker. That'd be fun. It'd be fun one to do with. It'd be fun one to do with the kids, wouldn't it? Yeah. David says, Rob, are you on Facebook Messenger? I don't think he does Facebook, mate. He does Discord, though. So if you private message him on there, he'll get it. Julian says, good afternoon, needy host, laugh out loud, and Tiff. I could fall out with people, you know, Julian. I was joking. Couldn't fall out with Julian. He's king of the heathens.
Hello, Julian.
Yeah. Julian says, evening, John. David says, morning, Tiff, John, and Mikey. Morning, David.
Morning.
David says, John, that victory is looking better as each day goes on.
Yeah, thank you.
Julie says, so well prepared, the cartoon at the beginning and the video title omitted our illustrious Antipodean friend. Tut tut. That's because originally when we started this series, it was just going to be me and Modders.
Yeah.
But really like having John with us. So.
Oh, and I just like turning up and annoying people. The more time I spend here, the more I can try to bring it down from the inside.
Bob says, David, this Luddite doesn't do Facebook. Sorry. Tim says, good day, all. Good day, Tim. If you want to call Tim, you're more than welcome. I'm sure John can send you the link if you want it. Just let us know. David says, Bob, okay, see what we can sort to meet up then. There we go. Bob says, Discord directions book due tomorrow. Intense reading to happen. You'll be all right. It's easy once you get used to it. Drew says, sigh. What's we going to do with you, Bob? I wonder if you can auto empty baskets when you click buy. I think that's the thing. He was looking on there, pressed on it, and then just forgot it was in there. He didn't actually buy them. And now he has.
Yeah.
Now he has bought 14 of the same kit. David says, got the Stolly on pre-order. Ooh, jammy bugger. I think it is out. But, yeah. Oh, it might actually be out later in the year. Not sure. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I like the Stolly. I wish they would do the Bedford in 135th. If they did the Bedford in 135th, I would definitely get that because I love the Bedford. It's fun to drive. Drew says, a friend told me to have a word with myself yesterday, but I already had. Apparently, I wasn't listening. Paul Tanker says, good day, one and all. Hello, Paul. Mikey, just looked at your universal carrier build. About 20 kilometers from me, there is a paddock with at least 6 rusting away, plus GMC and Dodge trucks in the same condition. It's a fun thing. Wow.
All right.
Yeah. That universal carrier build was for a friend it was based on her, I think it was her dad's wartime, or his granddad's, I can't remember. Yeah, wartime exploits. And she gave it to her mum, who now has it on her mantelpiece because it reminds her of him, which is lovely. David says, wife does that with the basket and says she did not know it was there.
Yeah.
Bob says, actually, I only bought 12 the same sidewalkers. The other 3 or 4. Oh, so you've bought 15. Jim says, greetings, my little droogies.
Yeah.
Hello, Jim. Have you been watching Clockwork Orange or something?
Yeah, it does sound like it, yeah.
Yeah. Hobby Time says, hi, guys. Hi, Hobby Time.
Hello.
And he says, hi, Jim. All we need is Rosie now. We need someone called Rosie in it. Then we can have Rosie and Jim. David says, Jadlin, do you know what? I was saying to Modders before the stream, I'm sure I've got a touch of ADHD because my mind just bounces everywhere. David says, Jadlam says it's now July. It's only slipped about 4 months from Airfix original date. Are you sure it's not on the Airfix site? Jim says, Guten Tag to all usual suspects in chat. GM says, Bob, delete basket contents, not buy contents. Jim says, greetings to our wise, intelligent, and broad-minded hosts. Well, one out of 3
for another crew. Yeah, there we go.
Ian says, hi all, lurking as I'm airbrushing. Guten Morgen, Jim.
Very good.
That reminds me. John, Callum from Columbus Models has started a new podcast.
Oh.
It's on YouTube and Spotify, and it's called Duds of War. And it's all about weapons and vehicles and stuff that were made during the Second World War that ended up just being complete crap. So they pick a different one each time and then discuss it.
Did you say Gods of War or Dogs of War?
Duds.
Duds of War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moment, and I shall put the link in.
Right. Very cool.
Yeah. So do go and check that out, and obviously like and subscribe because he set up a new channel for it, and it's the first episode.
Cool.
Give
that a watch.
Yeah.
I've sent the link to Timbo. It's up to him whether he wants to join or not.
Okie dokie. David says, think it was not in the container from China. Quite possibly. Jim says, good morning, Herr Ellison. Bob says, for fuck's sake, just check Fleabay to ensure basket is empty. It is, but I seem to have got an Edward F4 F midway combo in 148.
Someone take away that man's bloody bank card.
Dear Lord. Modders has put the link into Callum's new podcast, so do go and check that out. Paul says, regarding prostate exam, my first time I asked my doctor, does this mean we're engaged? She fell about laughing.
Jim.
Jim says, Duds in bed is the story of my sex life. Oh dear, Jim. You know my kids watch this, right? Oh, funniest thing. I went shopping yesterday after the stream, right?
Right.
And I bought my favorite ice cream, which is rum and raisin ice cream.
Right.
Right. Because Lidl do a really soft version of it. It's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And I stood in the queue, and someone I've known since we were kids turned around and went, "Is that for you, Mike?" And I went, "Yeah, mate," because he's got quite severe autism. And I went, "Yeah, why?" And he went, "Oh, you wouldn't give that to kids, would you?" And I went, "Why not?" And he went, "It's got alcohol in it." And I went, "But my kid's 19. I think she's old enough to have alcohol." And he just looked at me and just started laughing. But then this guy behind us must have been listening, because he started laughing his head off as well. Like, my kid's 19. I think she's old enough to make her own choices.
Yeah, there's that.
I've just read that one. Julie says, Bob, do you have any shares in eBay, Amazon, or Jadlams? I think their share price might be going up. GM says, is there a delete button for Bobby's buying fingers? Maybe you should put some boxing gloves on him or something. Julie says, Paul, I'm assuming that's because your ring was on her finger, just as well she wasn't left out. Oh, damn it, Julian. That's grim, dude.
Oh, we could all picture it so well, though.
Oh no. I wasn't picturing it until now. John.
Oh dear. Jim says, I beg your pardon, Mikey. I find self-deprecating humor to be very funny as the Groucho Marx in me. It's fine, buddy, don't worry. Like I say, Morgan's 13 and Chloe's 19, so it doesn't matter. She's all right. Hello, Tim.
Hello.
Yeah.
How are we?
All right, how are you?
Very well.
Good. Nice of you to join us again.
Nice to be here.
Again.
You sound very happy about that.
I was trying to work out kind of what I wanted to say, and I was like,
Sounds very Shatner about that.
yeah.
I'm not sure if it's Shatner or just not so sure.
I'm definitely not being held at gunpoint or anything.
Yeah, John, you bastard.
Yeah.
David says, evening, Tim.
G'day.
Ian, Julian, I can't airbrush for laughing. Oh, dear me. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to suggest. Maybe have a sedative or something. He says, Jim, if Groucho Marx is in, oh, never mind. GM says, 19 minutes in and we have two loonies loose on the keyboards. I don't know who you're talking about. Julie says, evening, Tim. And Kieran says, afternoon, everyone. Hello, Kieran.
Hello, Kieran.
Hello.
Kieran's lovely. He's a really soft-spoken bloke. You just sort of person you talk to, you're just like, oh, you must be a really kind person. You just sound like a really kind man.
Well, at this point, putting together a Mark 44 ammo night, I'm just missing the top half of Wallace.
Yeah. Show us what you've been doing, Tim.
So I'm putting together one of these Mark 44 ammo nights from Machine and Krieger, which is a sci-fi thing from the 80s in Japan, and it's a Hasegawa kit, so everything's great and going together really nicely and all that. And it's not dissimilar to a Gundam. So, it's all posable and will pull apart really easy for painting and such. So, yeah, I'm just kind of popping it all together at the moment and gluing rivets and things on the chassis. And then, I'll come back through with some putty and surfacer and stuff and, not have it all smooth. I'll have a bunch of kind of textured cast panels and stuff.
Nice.
So they're
You're gonna put some rust on that on it.
Oh, heaps, yeah. So like that's the inside of the cockpit, which will sit there.
Yes.
And then you can see like the screens and stuff on the inside that the pilot would look through and all that. So they're kind of funny looking, but the Japanese bloke that came up with this back in the day had kit bashed sort of the models to begin with, and then from there had the idea to create a story, which kind of got a bit picked up and stuff in Japan. But and apparently there's a movie that's going to be made in the relatively near future about it, which would be pretty cool.
Excellent. Well, good work. It's going well. I got that one. Julian says, only two? How very dare you, Gary? And he also says, afternoon, Kieran. Kieran says, thanks, Mikey. You're very welcome. Mr. Evans is in. He says, hip, hip, one and all, back from duties on the Rhine and Danube. Hello, buddy.
Yeah, it looks like you had a wonderful holiday, Gary. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Here.
We've missed you. We look forward to having you back on the show. Kieran says, hi, Julian. Hope all is well. GM says, Tim, saw your beer cooler yesterday. Like the work you put into making it. Have you ever thought to make more? Good question.
I did. Just short the ridiculous sum of money that it cost for the laser engraver. At the time I was still in the Navy, so I was just using the sign shop equipment there in my off hours.
Yeah.
But more just a hobby thing, but pretty fun.
Be cool. Julie says, Guten Tag, Commander Evans, wie geht's? Ian says, hi, Kieran. Hi, Gary. Just watched the Wingnut video before this. Ooh. I've got Wingnut Wings kit.
I've not seen it yet. I will certainly get around to it.
John, have you got a Wingnut Wings kit?
I don't have to be here, Mikey. I could just go and sit in another room.
I mean, I'd send you mine, mate, but, it's expensive. And it's from Models for Heroes, so I can't do that.
Yeah, just
I'll just send you photos as I build it. You can live vicariously through me.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
Kieran says hi, Ian. Julie says, not bad, thanks, Kieran. 3D printer has stopped feeding filament, which is odd. Kevin says, good day, everyone. Hello, Kevin. Kieran says, hi, Julian. Sorry to hear about 3D printer. Hopefully you can get it sorted soon. Julian's just going to end up covered in melted plastic, isn't he?
Yes.
He's going to end up with it in his hair and all sorts. Bob says, but is Mr. E prepared for beast distribution? I'm not. I can't even. Not even sure he's aware of it. To be honest, I'm not sure if we discussed it before he went away or after.
Yeah, I'm sure it was mentioned.
You may be receiving quite a lot of kits, Gary. David says, yes, same. Just watched it. It is so good. That Wingnut Wings kit, Gary. I've got mine in the living room. Where's yours, John? I think I've had too much coffee. Or not enough.
He's at this rate, John's going to be having 2 fights next time he goes to Telford.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be handy if I switch the light on. That'd be cool. What have we got? Junior says, hope so, Kieran. As a last resort, I'll have to buy a new printer. Not a major disaster, as this one was free anyway. Yeah. You could get a bigger one as well, then. Oh, you could make parts for us. And we could pay you. GM says, tell you what I was thinking. Is, maybe on a Monday stream or something at some point. If we can get some 3D printed figures or something and do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
GM says, Julian. Sorry, go on.
There's a quick view of Telford in 2 years' time.
Yeah, John's the one in the middle.
Yeah.
GM says, Julian, I don't think I've been daft enough to qualify for the third loony on the keyboard yet. David says, Robert, send me your address details in Discord PM then. Yeah. Wait Rose says, came home to loads of stuff, including Fanfare, the new Uma Hobbies Harrier in 148. Oh, Gary, do you want to come up and show us that? That'd be so cool. If you want to. We're not like twisting your arm or anything.
Much.
Well, Mikey is.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that because he's a lot taller than me. He could easily bear hug me. He'd bear hug my head. He does give good hugs, though, does Gary. Bob says, Julian, how many printers do you need? I'm up to 3 at the moment. Oh, dear God. 3D printers are pretty cool. Bob says, will do. Gary says, let me set things up in the office. Awesome! Modders, can you send Gary the link?
I can indeed.
Thank you. You are a superstar.
Well, I'm not. It's just Bob.
I'd imagine Mr. Evans would be very good at prostate exams, giving the imperial thumbs up.
Oh, God. Oh.
It's the fact that he smiles when he does it that's creepy.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, Gary, you've missed so much the last couple of weeks. Saying that, Gary Morris doesn't know about the prostate exams either, does he?
Oh, he will.
Oh yeah, we'll make sure he knows. All right. He'll feel the pain just as much as we do. I'll get to your comment in a sec, Julian. I'm just doing at least one piece today. There you go. Is someone having a Barney?
Okay, just going off headset for a moment.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody's having a Barney Rubble. Julian says, Mikey, this one is about 2/3 the size of the smallest commercially available printer. Any other would be bigger and have Wi-Fi or SD card. Be right back. Kara's here. Okay, buddy. You go and get all that plastic taken out of your hair. Jim says, Tim, I thought you had hand-formed the impressed logos on the leather face. Didn't realize you were playing laser beams, etc. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind trying my hand at leather work at some point.
Only because you want the outfit. You want the
Well,
leather mask and things.
It's just going to say I would finally be able to get you that custom suit you were after.
Yeah. Just remember to put a zip across the mouth, yeah? Paul says it's only painful if you get the lube mixed with the DP. Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh dear. That's just wrong. But it feels so right. Oh my god, I am tired today. But hey, if it's entertaining people, maybe I should be more tired more often.
wait, I need some.
I think John's back from bitch slapping the kids. Obviously, he didn't actually assault his teen kids, and they are actually adults. So they could probably kick his ass now.
Ooh. Sounds like my wife has just arrived home. I'll be right back. Better just go
Alright,
say
mate.
hello.
Hello, wife. Bye, wife.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sure, I might do. Comments are quieting down again. Yay. There we go.
You said that there's probably going to be a massive influx of them now.
Yes. How are we doing on lubes, by the way?
I don't know. I haven't checked. Give me a minute.
Where's Stato? We've got 14 people watching. We've had up to 18. So.
14 likes.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Everyone's liked. Well done. I'm impressed that Ian remembered. Only joking it. Paul says, I'm photographing my American Civil War armies tomorrow. Nice. That'd be cool. Make sure you put them up in the Discord, buddy. Oh, there we go. David says, saw an unboxing of the AV8 Harrier on Scale Modeling channel. Ooh, cool. Joe says, DP, in the 7th grade, we used to put that stuff on guys that would strike out baseball 3 times during a game. Ouch. One of our PTIs was tricked into spraying it on his balls. And I don't mean the sports balls, I mean his testicles.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Yeah. he did not appreciate being tricked into that. GM says, Tim, I did a lot of leather work training in my apprenticeship as an airframe artificer, even. Don't see much of it these days. Yeah. I tell you, who does do leather. Used to do leather work. James, who I play Dungeons and Dragons with, he's an ex-army photographer. He used to do a lot of leather work. He made backpacks and things.
Huh. I know one group that does quite a lot of it is the sort of cosplay and Ren Fair type folks. For a lot of their costumes, they get right into doing some leather working.
I'll tell you who it is. Do you remember Squarish? That used to come in the chat. It's him. He used to do a lot of leather work. It was his hobby. Bob says, "Yay, red bubbled." Ooh, you'll have to show us what you got, Bob. On Discord, obviously. You can't show us on here. Where's my palette? Shit, where's that gone? What's he see? Oh no, where's that gone? Be with the metallics, maybe. Oh shit! Right. What the hell, dude? That's all right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you all right there, Mikey?
Yeah, I just nearly tipped my drawer out all over the desk. Yeah.
Oh, get on there.
That's what she said. Ian says, I only just liked. Oops. Oh, Ian, you let me down, man. And there's me thinking you'd remembered. Blimey. Bob says, step one, buy a camera. And then he says, oh, hang on, I've got one in the phone. Yeah, that's what we do. I think I know what I've done with it. Metallic set. I still need to get a decent bloody paint. I have put it in the metallic set.
I've been thinking about getting a proper camera
Yeah.
and going out and doing some architectural photography.
Ooh. I have books on that, stuff like that. It's very interesting. One of the things to be aware of is converging lines on architectural photography, because it makes the buildings look like they're sort of tipping over or really weird shapes.
Last time I went up to Scotland,
Yeah.
I did take a photo of one of the churches, one of the local churches. Now, if I can bloody find it.
Who's farting?
That was me standing up from my chair.
Ah, old age. Got you. Ah, cool. Very nice modders. Hang on. Let's make modders grow. There you go. Very nice. Well done.
Is that one of the old Catholic ones?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
GM says rip resistant nylon took over from leather bolster pouches found on flying suits and jackets. Yeah. Makes absolute sense. I've just realised my camera's back to front. What's going on there? There we go.
No, it's back to front now.
Oh, it's back to front now.
Yes. It's I have the same thing. It's reversed when I see it, but it's the other way around.
Oh, for Christ's sake, now I've put it on the wrong camera. What am I doing?
This is why I like OBS.
There you go. Paul says, off to make she who must be obeyed a coffee.
Ooh.
Yeah. Something I got from my pop is calling my wife the Minister for Home Affairs.
I call her Doris. To her face.
You call my wife Doris?
No, I call my wife.
No, I know. I know.
Or Moo. So people think sometimes when I call her Moo out in public or in front of people think I'm taking the mick and calling her a cow. I'm not. It's because when we first started dating, she saved my phone number in her phone as Mikey Moo. So then I saved her number as Kaylee Moo. And then I got lazy and just shortened it to Moo. And that's what I've called her ever since.
Sure.
Hey, Martin Mountford's in. Hey, Martin. I haven't seen you for a while, buddy. How are you getting on? Lost any more body parts lately? June says, hi, Martin. Hopefully you haven't, obviously. I'm not taking a piss. but you do seem to lose a lot of parts of yourself. Marty says, "Hola, Julian." There you go. That should look cool. GM, no, wrong. Wait, Rose says, "Want to send the link, mate? Can one of you send Gary the link?"
I have on Facebook.
Oh, there you go. Gary, check your Facebook. Oh, shit.
I think it's your personal Facebook, not the channel kind of one.
See, now you're just confusing the man.
Yeah, it's his personal one.
Oi.
Right.
Tell you what, I'm like sponsored by Butterfingers tonight. I'm just dropping everything. No future in that.
No.
I have this scaffolding for the tree flugel. What colour do people reckon I should paint it?
Rusty and metal.
Rusty and metal. Like, is
Yeah,
it steel?
Yeah, like aluminium. I mean,
It wouldn't be aluminium though, because it's German. World War II, they had a massive shortage of aluminium.
RLM yellow.
Oh, good, actually, yeah.
It's my favorite color in terms of paints. It just, it's so good. RLM04.
This is the thing with scale modelers, right? When most people get asked what their favorite color is, they say blue, black, pink, whatever. When modelers say it, they pretty much recite the hex code for the exact shade.
The box is saying, it's layers, red, yellow, or just green all over. I can paint it whatever I like, but yeah.
There we go.
What do the viewers reckon?
Jim says, "I can't hear the spray booth, John."
That's because it's not running at the moment.
Bob says, shouting at the screen doesn't work. No. Jim says, "Greetings and welcome back, Mr. Evans." Yeah. Martin says, "Hospital appointments recently. Had scan and found got an enlarged aorta. Looks like I'll be having a heart op in the near future. Some sort of Y cage thing to stop me stuffing it." Yeah. A shunt, they call it.
Yeah.
It's like wire mesh that they put in and then they expand it out. And it creates like a scaffolding to help support it. But yeah, best of luck with that, buddy. Bob says, "Is Butterfingers another underworld snack?"
Right, I sent the StreamYard link to the other Facebook. I've sent it to both, just in case.
Okay. GM says, "How does the Uma Harrier compare to the kinetic kit? I have the kinetic kit. Very nice. We'll find out in a minute when Gary figures out how to get on it."
Yeah.
Jim says, "Aluminium doesn't rust." No, but it does oxidize. And somebody's thunder chunking. Chunder monkeys.
Actually, I think, I like the idea of somebody mentioned monkeys and steel with rust. I think I'll do that.
Yeah.
All right.
So who's got the chunder monkey?
Heard it, but not here.
It's not me.
Must be John.
Sorry, chunder monkey. What?
Someone throwing up.
No.
Oh, I heard it. Weird. Duke says, Hope you've been strong. Hope you have been having a strong stream so far. I'm settled in for a good night of watching. Yes, being only 37, I do tend to,
Ooh,
Have a good stream.
guess who's joined the chat, Mikey?
I know, I've just seen it. GM says John Arlo Grey 02 may be the closest. Have seen rusty black frames in the back of hangars. There we go.
RLMO 2.
Matt says
What's choice?
belated hello all escaped the office. Ooh. And someone very special to me is in. It's Chloe. It's my daughter. Hello, Chloe.
Hello.
Ahoy!
Wonderful. G'day,
Nice
Chloe.
to have you with us. We had a discussion the other day, and she watched a bit of it, and I said, "Oh, you should have said something in the chat. I didn't know you were there." And she said, "Like what?" And I said, "Hello." So that's what she said. How you doing, love? Duke says, "Sorry, Tiff, I mentioned the strong stream again." Oh, ooh, why have I got so much energy today?
You do sound like you've got a bit of an extra pep in your step.
Yeah,
You've seen the link.
I think it's because I've had a good week. I've been happy all week. I blame someone on the chat. Blame them. Blame Chloe. Martin says aluminium does oxidize, particularly if it's next to ferrous metals. There's a sort of electrolytic reaction, like in the bottoms of Series 1 and 2 Landies. Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, that's why they started painting with that horrible black paint. Julian says, hi, Chloe. David says, hello, Chloe. Jim says, ahoy, Chloe. Welcome to our channel. Welcome to the community. Julie says, evening, Duke. And Duke says, good day, Chloe.
Yeah. Welcome in. We don't bite unless you ask.
Steady on. That would just be weird. Ow! Shit. Just stabbed myself with the tweezers.
Well, it sounds a lot less like a threat when it comes from modders.
Well, that's true.
I think if any of us said it, you're a bit of a. Ugh.
I mean, if I said it, it'd be real weird.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yes.
Mm. That's not cricket.
No, not at all.
So I've sent Gary the link as well to the Gary stuff messenger.
Yeah, he's seen the link that I sent.
Yeah, but like me, he might have had trouble changing that. You know, trying to access it. That doesn't always work here. It just Facebook doing stupid stuff.
Bob says, aluminium and steel, dissimilar metal corrosion is why I can't get the cylinder head off my 1950 Triumph Mayflower. Yeah, it is a pain when it's the old ones. Chloe says, Tiff's funny.
Aww.
What about me? Oh, it's fine. We're just funny looking, aren't we, John?
Speak for yourself, buddy.
Hey. It's a good job I love you, isn't it? Duke says, good day, Julian. Joe says, we don't bite. Hard. Joe, that's my daughter, dude. And Chloe's put, ew. Exactly. That's just weird. Oh, dear me. It's got warm in here now.
Oh, are you getting embarrassed, Mikey?
Why would I get embarrassed? I'm 37, for God's sake. Mr. Evans is in the house. Hello, Waitrose.
Welcome back.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
All right, buddy. How was your excursion?
Oh, I actually came home in need for a break. Actually, I'm more exhausted now than I was before I left. It's been very hectic 3 weeks, but hugely enjoyable. But lovely, thank you. But yeah, too many daily tours, and breakfast 7 till 9, 9 o'clock on the coach, or 9 o'clock on the quayside for the walking tour. Jesus, I'm paying for this. What do you mean 9 o'clock? Anyway, other than that, it was brilliant. Brilliant fun. Met some insanely funny people. There's a couple, a very good mate of mine always said, you go on one of these Riviera cruises on the river, within a few days, you'll meet a couple who you will be staying up to midnight with. You'll be thrown out the bar at midnight. And of course it will, of course it will. And sure enough, within 2 days, we bumped into a couple who are just hilarious fun. The woman's a fairly senior TV director, and her husband's a retired guy in logistics. He started off in the Royal Logistics Corps in West Berlin and things like that. So you can imagine the fount of stories he had to tell us was excellent. So had a good time with them, and just generally good time. Saw some cool stuff. I went to see it. Not cool, very chilling and very scary place was the Nuremberg rally ground, where Hitler held his rallies for like 100,000 people.
Yeah.
There's a group, I hasten to add, not a right-wing group. There's a group who are hoping to restore it as a reminder to everyone, this is what can happen, rather than hey, we miss the old days. So that they seem to have got some money to start redeveloping the site, part of the site, to say this is obviously without any of the well-known symbols.
Yes, without any of the adornments.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's brilliant. Saw a couple of Gutenberg Bibles, real Gutenberg Bibles, which was brilliant.
Yeah.
All sorts of fun things. Drank a lot of wine and a lot of beer, and ate a lot of food.
And caught a lot of sun by the look of it.
It was quite sunny. It got some vitamin D. Yeah. But being a sort of a northern ice person, I go quite red and react quite badly to sunshine anyway. But it was properly good. So incredible locks you go through. A couple of the locks were like 25-meter drop of water.
Wow.
Huge. And the things are on were like, the boats are on like 130 meters long. Yeah. So they're quite beastly things. But it's good. Great, thank you. So I actually, on the way, before we went, I got all my clothes, doing some packing, checked so I could fit into all my clothes. And by about day 4, there were 2 shirts I could no longer get into.
Good man.
So that's the level of the cuisine. The food was spectacularly good, lovely, and very plentiful, as indeed was the beer and the wine and everything else. Yeah. So yeah, excellent. Thank you.
Are you ready for Friday when we do this Sea Fury?
Yeah, I can show you my Sea Fury. I haven't actually done anything to it recently.
Well, whilst you get through that, I'll quickly go through the comments.
Yeah.
Julian says, Mikey, you're funny too, just a different definition of funny. Thank you, I think. Paul says, big anniversary coming up, 25 years since my triple bypass and mitral. Wow,
Paul, good for you, man.
You didn't go half measures, did you, mate?
No.
Bob says, parents don't count as amusing, but it's their job to embarrass the offspring. Jim says, looking tanned and fit, weight Rose.
Well, tanned and that fit. I'm definitely not fit.
Chloe says, they definitely do that, Robert. Hey, don't pick on me. She came out with the best phrase ever the other day. She said, how does it feel to be parented by your daughter? I thought that was funny.
That's quite funny, that.
Yeah. Joe says, yeah, sorry. I was thinking about the Dr. Evil reference. Sorry, Chloe. Julie says, that's the job of uncles too, Bob. Bob says, Chloe, I must admit I do that to my daughter as well. Bob says, told a friend of mine becoming a grandfather allowed him to twinkle at young ladies. His missus threw a biscuit at me. Jim says, Nuremberg. I think that's where the last US presidential inauguration was held. Oh, Jim. Trust you.
Yeah.
Joe says, good one, Jim. And congratulations, Paul. Yeah. 25 years and not dying. Well done. Jim says, two shirts you can't get into now, Gary. Must be those pesky German washing powders.
It was definitely the laundry on the ship was appalling. It must be. So many things don't fit now.
You know what that means now, don't you, Gary?
What's that?
You're going to have to buy some T-shirts off the BBC merch store.
Yeah. Not like the healthy option, which would be lose some damned weight, Gary. No, buy some new ones. That's right. Just buy up an extra size, you know.
Yeah. Don't worry about putting on weight. Just get a bigger shirt.
Yeah.
There's
there's something else I'm going to show you, so I'll be back in a minute. Literally just.
Okay. Just make sure you got your trousers on when you do it.
I will.
Bob says, also managed to discuss my own mother. She didn't mind becoming a great grandmother, but wasn't happy about being the mother of a grandfather. Paul says, Joe, cheers, mate. I was given 18 months to live at the time. Oh, fair play, mate. Well done.
Wow.
You survived.
Woo.
I don't know why the Welsh Ambulance Service keeps sending me updates about when they've got critical incidents on and things like that. I haven't been in the Welsh Ambulance Service for like 2 years, 3 years. I don't know why they've still got my phone number on file. Julian says, Chloe, you and Mikey need T-shirts. You're saying adult supervisor, and Mike's saying adult being supervised. Yeah. Something like that would actually be pretty cool.
Speaking of unwanted phone calls, Mikey, I got a call from an unknown number the other day, and I tend to answer them.
Was it an 0800 number?
No. It was, it said Sydney, and so I went, yep, cool. Beep. I went, hello. No, is this AB Evans? It's Mr. Evans. And they go, no, I'll use your rank. Why aren't you on base? You're on duty. And I was like, oh, was that today? And I'm like, yes, I'm going to have you run in. Who's your PO? And all this. And I went, oh, look, I'm so sorry. I'll be right there. Hang up. It's like I've been out for a year and a half now. How am I still on your duty roster?
I remember, right, when they sent out my call-up papers when we were going out to Iraq, and they sent it in a brown envelope with the name and address on, and all across the front it had on Her Majesty's service written on it, right?
Yeah.
A week later, I got another letter in a plain brown envelope apologising for making it obvious that it was military documents inside. Because apparently it put me at risk. I was like, oh, I don't care. Tiff has put a link up to the merch store. Thank you, Tiff.
No
I
one.
need to get some more T-shirts.
Yeah.
Chloe says, I don't think I have the energy to supervise him.
I'd be shocked if you did.
Yeah. I'm surprised I've got this much energy in myself, to be honest. Julian says, thinking about it, Tilda Gary and his wife and daughter need those T-shirts too. Yeah. I'm missing Gary Morris. He'll be back Thursday then. Martin says, that alcove in the background of Gary's stream looks like the RAF cockpit green I've just been spraying the Qatari Spitfire. Ooh. That one, yeah. So, do you want to show us your things, Mr. Waitrose?
I can show you some things. So some lessons. Well, yeah, I'm not going to manage levels of excitement here. Okay, so first of all, I just wanted to show that's where my Sea Fury is, pink and red, and I ran out of red just before going on holiday. So I now have some more red delivered, so that'll be sprayed and red and probably finished by the end of the week, hopefully. So that's good. The next thing was that I was getting a bit fed up seeing the old stickered up all the time
Yeah.
things. So I've got some give it the Imperial thumbs up stickers made.
Lovely.
Nice.
Very nice.
So there'll be some in various postal packages and whatever coming to various places fairly soon. Because I just wanted to see what it's like getting them made and finding a good maker and stuff. And I'll be doing a few more different types, obviously, for people who don't like any association of Imperial, apparently.
Yeah. Weak-minded.
This arrived, Dornio
Ooh,
217K from our lovely friends at ICM. That's
lovely.
a very, very heavy box indeed. They also sent this captured scheme for a Heinkel 111. It's an American scheme, and I believe this is the one that's at Hendon now, because the Americans got it. Then the British took it over before because the Americans didn't want to fly it back to America or dismantle it.
Yeah,
and I think this is one that actually ended up in Hendon. There's a Tiger Moth, 132nd Tiger Moth in some funky foreign colours.
Oh, that's cool.
Swedish,
Ooh.
Portuguese, French, which is this one. A US camouflage one, and Belgian Air Force. So that's
Very
nice.
nice.
Mm.
There was another box for something else that I don't know whether or not you've mentioned for Fridays. That's arrived as well, so up to date with that.
I've got to order mine.
And then there was this big boy.
Nice.
The brand new Uma Hobbies Harriet 2 Plus, AV8B 2 Plus, 148 scale. As you can see, quite a big box.
Yeah.
Comes with 3 schemes, and I'll quickly swap camera and I can show it. Yeah,
I've just realised you're the other way around compared to normal, aren't you? Normally
Yeah.
you buy that back window.
yes. This because this is I'm going to show what's in the box. I thought I'd do this on the what's in the box table rather than filming it from the where I'm making stuff table. So it's the other way around.
Makes sense.
And we're just so flexible here, man.
Yeah.
So flexible.
We're almost professionals, Gary.
Very nearly, very distressingly close to being professional.
Yeah.
Okay, so lots and lots of plastic things. There's like the 2 halves of the wing sections here. The nose sections are separate from the rest of the fuselage. I suspect that means they'll be doing some 2-seaters in the future, which would be good because that makes the core of the molding more flexible. The canopy comes with or without the MDC, the cord, the thing that sort of blasts the canopy open.
Yeah.
Doesn't blast it. So it's not detonation, is it? It's deflagrating, and the gas pressure pushes it out rather than detonating and creating a massive shockwave. I think.
Correct.
Because the shockwave would kill the pilot as well.
So it would be def cord rather than deck cord.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be deck cord 2000. So yes, you've got a choice of both on that.
Yeah, on the F-35 they call it FLISC, focused linear shaped charge. Just for a bit of fun.
Yeah. Lots and lots of bits and pieces. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of bits and pieces. Lots of stores. There's pods. There's Maverick missiles. There's bombs of some description. I don't know what they are because I'm not really up on American weaponry. All of that. There's separate parts for the air inlets. There are 2 versions of it, and I don't know why yet. I will find out why, no doubt, but they're separately molded. Separate wheels as well, which I don't know if they're resin or whether they're plastic. I think they might be plastic, regular plastic, but they're injected differently. There's a little white box that contains the canopy frame.
Yes.
So that sort of protects it because it doesn't get snapped, basically, I guess. That's quite nice. It's got separate framing. What other goodies are there? There's what feels like quite a heavy instruction booklet. There's a big decal sheet. There's a little bit of photo etchy here for, I think these are for the gun sights. There's a coloured cockpit set from Lambo, so they're like a 3D decal set. So yeah, that's it. I mean, it's a lot of stuff in there, a lot, and it looks beautiful. I mean, the riveting, it's got raised and sunken rivets depending on which bit you're looking at and things like that. And it looks exquisite. So very, very happy, very, very grateful to the boys and girls at Yuma for sending it over. So, see, now this is the benefit of being an astronomer in my past. Well, something to do with astronomy in the past, as well as being a model maker and all the rest of it. It's because when they came to market advertising the product, they have this little logo here, which is like a little bear, and UMA, capital U, capital M, little a. Now, those of you who are into these things will know that UMA, like that, is the international abbreviation for Ursa Major, the Great Bear, the what we would call the plough or the Big Dipper. So I wrote to them and said, is that what that means? He said, yes, it is. You're the first person to ask about that. And then we got chatting, and hey presto, they've sent me one of these. Now, I understand they are, well, from the moulding, they're very clearly looking at doing a two-seater ones in the future. I asked about doing a GR7 or GR9, and they said they are definitely looking into that. They want to see what the market response is to this first. But they have got lots of variants and other versions planned, other schemes, weapon loadouts, all the usual things that people do. So that's that. I'll do a proper video on it sometime this week, I hope.
Excellent.
I've had the time to do that, but yeah, that was the lovely thing that arrived. Well, they're all lovely things, of course. They're all lovely things.
Well, are you aware of the parcel you're going to be getting from Bob?
From Bob? Am I aware of it? Not that I recall. Should I be? Should I be worried?
Yes.
Oh no! No! I remember now. Yes, I am. That thing with the thing.
Yeah, it's grown.
Yes,
because he's now accidentally bought 15.
Accidentally? Was it the painkillers again? Is that what did it?
Yes.
Oh.
So he sent some
15.
to H.
Excellent.
He kept a couple himself, and he's going to send you a few to distribute to channel subscribers. Some channel subscribers and stuff. If that's okay. If needs be, let me know, and I'll send you money for postage and stuff.
Okay. Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We can sort something out.
Yeah,
that would be cool. That would be really groovy. Wow.
Yeah. So we're all going to have Strand Beast to build.
So yeah, that's going to be quite the group build, isn't it? Lots of 15 people on the group build all at once.
Yeah.
Excellent. All about community. All about community. Anyway, what y'all been up to while I've been away? What have you been doing without my supervision?
Before we get into that, I just need to catch up on chat.
Okay, I'll make some coffee.
Cool. June says, thinking about it, so the Gary and his wife. Oh, I've read that one. Haha. Read that one. That's where I meant to click. Jim says, once again, I beg your pardon, Mikey. My cynical sense of humour took a turn down the political path. Quite out of character for me. It is. It's not like you, buddy. You normally dislike that sort of thing. It's my job. Yeah. Paul says, Mikey, I was called up in the 70s for Vietnam. Wow. I built a Vietnam tank a while back. Australian tank. Because John's dad worked on them in the Ramey, which is the Australian version of the Corps that I was in. Julian says, I had a wrong number call once about 9 a.m. It said, hi, Dad, me. Who's this? Him, your son. Me, confused. I don't have a son. The call ended ignominiously. And I
that was a
very nearly had a stroke trying to say that last word. Jim says, love that Dornier 217, Gary.
Looks a lovely thing.
Joe says, beautiful tiger moth. Yeah. I'll go with your 172nd tiger moth, Gary, that you did a few months ago.
Yeah. I've got a 148 to do as well.
Well, there we go.
At some point.
Joe says, another wrong number asked me if I had the number for the person he wanted. I had never heard of her.
Looking forward to your video on that, Harrier. So I've never built one, but just having a look at the contents of that box, it looks pretty impressive.
Yeah, the nice kit.
It does. It does look cool.
Oh, one thing we were thinking of doing, Gary, is maybe doing a RAF World War II tropical theme or something like that for a build.
Nice.
So we could do Hurricanes and Spitfires and things like that, or even captured Messerschmitts.
Indeed.
Oh
Jim
my.
says, Jim says, I like the rabbit on the Harrier box art. David says, Gary, they look very nice. And yes, that Harrier looks so good. Julian says, also, a spammer called me, a very short call, I imagine. Caller, can I speak to Mr. Julian Hall? Me, no, click.
I like that.
When I was living with my dad, I had one call and they said, can I speak to Mr. and then my surname? And I went, which one? And he went, and they said it again. And I went, yeah, which one? They went, well, the one that lives at the address. I'm like, yeah, there's two of us. Which one do you want? You're obviously a scammer because you don't know who you're asking for. Julian corrects himself. David says, open and close, Gary. David says, that's the inlet, Gary. Ah.
Okay. I didn't see a difference between them, but I would hope they'd do that, the open overflow ramps and the closed ones.
Tasha's in. She says, hi, everyone. Hi, Tasha. I haven't seen you for a while.
Hey.
Welcome back. Julian says, crap at multitasking. I can type and look at the screen at the same time, so I'll look at those boxes later, Gary. Oh, you can't.
Fair play. Fair play.
Julian says, hi, Tasha. David says, £60 on pre-order at Jadlam's. Ah. There you go.
A fair price for that amount of plastic, I have to say.
Yeah. Martin says, does it say on the box, rabbit? Tasha
probably
says,
should do.
yeah. Tasha says, hi, Julian. Come on. What is going on now?
You having problems with your mouse again?
No, the mouse is fine. It's just I think the computer just ran a little bit slow for a second. Yeah. Paul says, good day, Crafted. And Tasha says, hi, Paul. Ooh. STD's in. He says, morning, afternoon, boys. Good
Morning.
afternoon.
Ahoy.
STD. And he says, going to Dayton, Ohio for work. I'll be on Patterson Air Force Base. Looking forward to visiting the Air Force Museum whilst there.
Man, excellent.
Have you been there, Gary?
No, that's definitely on the bucket list. That one, the Wright-Patterson Air Force Museum is enormous. They've got some pretty cool stuff. I think that's where they've got the B-70 Valkyrie, among many other things.
Yeah,
it's huge. A proper huge museum.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Cosford again.
Oh, gorgeous place, mate.
Cosford's
properly good.
Well, I was having a chat with the in-laws the other day, and we decided that we should go down there when the kids are on the summer holidays. We should take them down there and go down there for the day. Have a big family outing. Jim says, regarding the Uma Harrier kit, has there been a 48 scale model of an AV-8B since the 1980s monogram kit?
I don't know. The Hobby 2000 one, I think, is the Hasegawa. Yeah, it's a Hasegawa re-release. But I don't know. Can't remember the last time Airfix did one.
GM says, Wait Rose, a very nice Harrier kit. An interesting version I saw stateside was the NASA Harrier 11, or NASA 2, Harrier 2. The intake ducts being multi-layered vac relief on the sides.
Oh wow, cool.
Jim says, of course, the Hasegawa kit. Pardon me, I'm bloody fool. Julia saying, afternoon Square. Square saying, hey, Julian. Martin says, I was sort of serious about the Wabbit because someone complained to Matchbox that there was only one plane in the box, but there was two on the box art. Unfortunately, there's no accounting for intelligence.
Or lack thereof.
Yes. Not that I'm saying we're intelligent, mind.
No.
We're just not total idiots.
No. It takes effort.
Yes. We can't be bothered with that much effort.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get my camera so I can show you something else cool that I bought.
Ooh.
Okay, that's near enough for government work. These are full-length intakes for the Airfix Jaguar with the intake doors open, 3D printed, so that when Airfix do eventually release their trainer, I'll have proper air intakes, single-piece air intakes. There's even a disc for the front of the engine, even though it's right at the back, because you can actually just about see it. If I see, so you could theoretically at least paint that up, and I suspect to do that you'd probably have to put some LEDs down there so you can actually see the damn thing. But these look absolutely gorgeous.
They do.
They apparently just sort of slot straight into the kit. Just take the this face off of the front of the intake box on the kit. Just remove that so you can put these things in. And that's it. Replaces the whole thing. Don't have to assemble it. And it's got the bloody doors open.
Nice.
So that's very exciting. I get excited by silly things. as we all know.
Don't we all?
Matters of scale did that.
Yeah. Oh, we've got 20 people watching, and we've had a few people come in, so please don't forget to lube and subscribe, as we say on here. Julian says, I must ask my brother about his holiday years ago to the US. If I recall correctly, one place he stayed in, the road was named after the family who lived there. He went to an air show with them. Nice. Julian says that was the time he went on the Goldwing Pillion. Nice. Excellent. Right. Crap. I'm trying to think now. It's not going well.
That's dangerous.
Oh, one thing I should say. We ended our trip in Budapest and we stayed a few extra days there. Yeah. To do some sightseeing or something. Drove out to the airport yesterday, sort of midday. Driving through, and there was suddenly there's just this mass of Soviet era airliners. And not like I didn't know this. There's a museum, an air museum at Budapest Airport, right next door to Budapest Airport, with all of their old Soviet era things that Malev used to fly. So I thought, right, next time we go back, which will be 2 or 3 years yet, but when we do go back, I'm going to bag an extra day and go to the museum because they've got all sorts of cool stuff like Ilyushin 14s and 18s and Tupolev 134s, 154s, and big iron things. Loads of really cool stuff. So yeah, should go there, give it a nose around. There we go.
Ooh, posty.
In there. Yeah, in there. Are you too good for your home? There we go.
Do you know, I have actually had letters like that asking if I want to sell my flat, and I'm like, I don't even own it. Sell it out from underneath the house and
Yeah, they'd love you for that.
aye.
I didn't realise my microphone was on mute for like the last 10 minutes. Because apparently I'm an idiot. So, Gary,
So,
we've
what been up
got a
to?
live stream on the 3rd, haven't we?
Yes,
next
we do. We do. Yes. Yes, we do.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I shall make sure I've got a beer in the fridge.
Yeah, I didn't manage to bring back one of those glasses though, mate, from the trip. Those pint
Oh,
things. No,
you
sorry,
let me
liter
down.
things.
You let me down.
Liter. You see, my dear wife, having been brought up a few years earlier than me, has no concept of the metric system at all. So when I ordered a litre of beer, she just thought, yeah, fine, litre of beer, whatever. When I pointed out it's actually 2 pints, it's like, how much beer? Oh my God. It's the way you do it. You go to Munich in the Oktoberfest. You can't buy a half litre of beer. You have to have a litre. It's the law or something.
Yeah.
That's why I said it anyway.
That's my
So yeah,
excuse now.
so I don't think she'd have been terribly pleased to have seen that propping out of my suitcase on the way back.
It would have made some interesting live streams, though.
Oh God, yeah, it would have done. The second hour, anything goes.
Yeah. Julie says, Martin, that reminds me of an idiot who rang a travel agent to ask how long it took to fly to Hawaii. The agent said, just a minute, meaning, hang on, I'll check. The agent said, thank you, and hung up. Jim says, question, Mr. Evans, what was the highlight or highlights of your holiday?
Highlights. Nuremberg, seeing it, I struggle to call it a highlight because of the association, but because it's place in history and the chill that ran down the back of my neck looking at this concrete edifice, that was worth doing. There was a brilliant museum in Rudesheim, I think it was, where this lunatic bloke, as is so often, that's not fair to call him a lunatic, he was just obsessive. He collected a lot of mechanical musical instruments, so things like you see at the fairground playing music for the carousels and stuff.
Oh, the organs and things.
Yeah, but some of these are on like another level, and one of them had 6 violins in a case.
Yeah.
And like this rotating thing with the bow on it. So it's playing 6 violins at once, but it was moving because the violin's got 4 strings, and you normally move the bow to choose which string. So it's moving each violin so that the right string was there, and it had like little things to do all the stops on 6 separate violins.
Nice.
And a piano and an organ that's synthesized brass sounds and a percussion section, and it was just the most glorious piece of engineering. There's also, I've heard for the very first time, a real Edison wax cylinder being played.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've seen them on the TV before, but to actually hear one live was really quite wonderful. I've never done that before.
Have you ever been to the Trafford Centre?
No.
In
Never.
one of the corridors between the main shopping precincts and the car parks, they have an electronic, an automatic grand piano that plays itself.
Oh, how nice!
And it's really weird because you're walking up the corridor and you can just hear this music, and it's really nice. And then you're like, where the hell did it come from? And as you move along the corridor, there's just this big white grand piano with a glass box over the keys, and the keys are moving and everything.
Wow.
That's
brilliant. The engineering is quite astonishing.
Yeah.
The Gutenberg Museum as well was exciting to see, like the history of the movable type printing, and to see, as I said earlier, a real, well, in fact, I have 2 real Gutenberg printed Bibles. that was very, very special. I'm into all that sort of old stuff, and to see the sharpness that they achieved with the type, even all those days back, was astonishing, truly astonishing. And with it, they also had some handwritten, hand copied Bibles. That was the previous method of reproducing these things, and they were just exquisite because of the incredibly ornate decoration that they achieved, the sort of the fineness of gold lines that they achieved in decorating these things was really beautiful. Beer spa, the beer spa, that was a highlight.
I've got bones to pick to you about that.
What's that?
My wife is now traumatized because in one day we went from Gary Morrison and Mankini, John with nipple tassels on, and you sat in a beer spa on Facebook with no top on.
Well, you can't have a top on in a bloody beer spa, can you? Yeah. Anyway, yes, a beer spa, that was a lot of fun. The public baths, and it's really weird. There's several travel lines. Companies do these routes. One of them is Riviera that we use. Probably the biggest one is called Viking. They do these cruises. But they have a lot of American people visiting through Viking cruises, which is great. So Maria and I are in a beer garden. Surprise, surprise. At the end of one of the walking tours, tasting some smoked beer, which is very odd, but actually quite delicious. I've got chatting to this American couple who are from Newark in New Jersey. Anyway, so we went our separate ways, and we bumped into them again the following day in another town. And then another couple of hours later, in yet another town, we bumped into them. It's like quite chatting quite a lot with them. And it's just really bizarre that, all these different ships plying these routes, you just bump into these people. So anyway, after that, we thought, we'll probably have some again because we're going to be in Budapest now and da-da-da. Went to the Széchenyi baths in the northeast, where there's a big thermal baths complex, which is where the beer spa is. Had our beer spa, went into the main pool for a while, just chilled out, enjoyed the sun and the water and all that. Thought, okay, probably time to go back. Got out, walking through one of the 30 different pools in this complex, and there's this, hey, Gary. And I turned around, and there's this couple there again. It's really freaky. It's really weird. Are you following us or something? But yeah, what lovely people. Just had a lot of fun meeting a couple that weren't even on our own ship and bumping into them a few times. That's cool. Well, the whole thing it is a bit of overload. It's a bit of culture overload. We had a couple of quiz nights on the ship. Our team came second on both of them, I should add, by 1 point in one case and 3 points in another. However, you have to come up with a team name, and we came up with the ABC Club because one of the tour guides had said, yeah, I know you're probably thinking ABC, another bloody church, another bloody castle, because that's kind of what the Rhine is. There's a lot of churches, there's a lot of castles.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was good. It was good fun. I think Nuremberg, probably of all, Nuremberg will stick in my mind the longest, purely because of its association with history that I've learned, and to actually stand in that place and see how huge it is and how absolutely enormous it is, thinking that this was once actually packed with screaming Nazis, basically, was really scary. And I think if they can restore it to some of its former presence, let's say, I won't say glory, but presence, then I think it will stand as a truly awesome memorial to what should not ever happen again. And there's a thing, there's an installation in Budapest along the side of the river just south of the Parliament building. The Parliament building's gorgeous as well, but there's this down on the side of the river, there's loads and loads of pairs of shoes molded in brass, because in 1945, with the Russians advancing on Budapest, the Germans wanted to get rid of as many Jewish people as they could. So they made them line up on the bank of the river, take their shoes off, and then they were shot and pushed into the river. And so now there's this memorial, which are just like these pairs of shoes in brass, permanently there, and people leave little flowers and little messages, and that's very poignant as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just so much. There's so much joyfulness as well, though, in these countries. It's, you know, beer spas and cable car rides, and just the whole experience was an absolute delight.
Excellent.
Thank you.
GM says, Gary Evans, yes, the same type of aircraft as we found in North Korea. 2 of us flew several types and chatted with the crews. We did film our walk around, and I can forward a link to Mikey.
Excellent.
Well, Gary has his own email address, which is...
I do.
Which is...
stuff@GarySEvans.com.
There we go.
Yeah. Amen.
June says, apparently I am an idiot. Well, we must have balance, Mikey. 1 each in South and North Wales. Yes. Jim says, I understand what you mean about being at Nuremberg, Gary. That feeling I would get walking over such historic ground. Yeah. It's very powerful feeling, isn't it? Wow.
Oh, and one good thing, one good evening we had with this guy we met, who used to be in the logistics corps. We were going along, and they were doing some sort of celebration on the boat for something or other. And I leant over to him and said, "Do you realise, Ray, it's the 18th of June?" And he said, "My God, so it is." He raised his glass and loudly said, "Confusion to Bonaparte," and trained his head, because of course it was Waterloo Day. So we made much of it being Waterloo Day. Here's the Prussians, even though we're in Bavaria. So we made quite a nice of it being Waterloo night as well, which was good fun.
Glad you enjoyed it, mate.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Can't wait to go on holiday again. End of August.
Ooh, you're going to be... Yeah, you'll be back in time for Telford, won't you?
Oh, God, yeah. August is our annual trip to Albania. We're there for 10 days. I'll be back in plenty of time for Telford. Already booked, mate. Already booked up there.
Well, I've booked in hotel.
Airbnb.
I've booked the hotel. I just got to pay for it.
Well, Mr. Skiffin's booked the Airbnb. I'm staying, him, me, and 4 other people are staying up there for the weekend. So that's going to be quite an interesting time, I suspect. Oh, dear goodness, I don't know why.
You got put with Skiffins in all night as well as all day.
Oh, I don't know why I let myself in for it, but I suspect quite a lot of whiskey being drunk somehow. But anyway, as long as I can do my work, I don't mind. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
GM says, I thought you might like to see aircraft as well, Mikey. Yeah. Fine by me. So, yeah, we've been thinking of some different builds and stuff that we could do. Maybe something to do with like RAF, tropical RAF aircraft from the war, or Mark 1 Spitfire build. Because John's got one and Morgan got me the new Airfix one for Father's Day.
Okay. I like it. Oh, I've got a Mark 1 early.
There we go.
The Qatari one. I could do that. I could do that. It takes like about 8 times longer than any of the rest of you will take, but I can do it. Either that or I'll get the Airfix one.
The Airfix one's actually really nice.
Yeah, they are. I've got to get hold of the 2-seater as well. And that's just
TR9. I was thinking about that.
And also the Boeing Clipper. I should buy one of those for the channel. Yeah, I should do. I've just got so much to do and keep up with, and all the filming I did when I was away as well to edit. So much of it.
Yeah.
But hey ho.
It's all good fun.
If it was easy, it wouldn't be a job, would it?
Well, no, that's true.
It would be a hobby.
Yes.
He said. Okay. Oh, what else I can show you. I can show you this. Oh. Been working on my little. I'll change the camera, please. Why don't I just change the camera? It's so much easier to show you on the other camera. My little P11780 or 1178
Oh, cool.
up 79. Yeah, that Harrier, blah 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 thing.
The
So that's all
P112.
done.
7.
Yeah,
1127.
that's the chap.
Hmm.
That's the fellow. But my favourite thing is this. Look at my pilot with his ejection seat.
That is
I've got. Is that the Vintage Classics one?
It is. So I had to chip out the corners of the bank seat top here, the top box. I've put a couple of tiny little bits of wire on for the handles, and then I've painted John up in his trademark white flying suit that he had. So because of that, I'm going to do it as an open top. So I've sliced the canopy. So he's got a windshield, and the canopy will be drawn back, and he'll be in there. Because that's what's the point of hiding him when you spent that much time on him.
Yeah.
And I'll do some sort of basic, sort of rudimentary instrument panel for it. But that's coming on quite fun. That's needs some paint now. I think.
Yeah, I've got that kit. Kay's niece got me for Christmas.
It's not a terrible kit. It's not the greatest kit they ever made.
Yeah.
There are a few fit issues, but nothing that you can't deal with. Let's say it's nothing insurmountable.
Yeah.
So generally, I think it should make something that looks pretty reasonable when it's all done. Actually, I'm pretty happy with that. I've got a Blenheim I need to finish. Blenheim Mark 1 I need to finish. Halifax I need to finish. Sea Fury.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I've got one or two things to do.
Well, you're actually ahead of us with the Sea Fury anyway.
Oh, okay. That's something. That's good to know. That's a bit of breathing space. What have you been doing for 3 weeks, for God's sakes?
Prattling around.
It's only like about 30 parts to get to this. What have you been doing, man?
I was in Melbourne for 2 weeks, so I didn't take part for a while. So,
there you go. There we go. There we go.
I was a little bit behind.
Been a sort of a summer breathe and relax build, so we can all just take it easy and get there eventually. I like that.
But you do realise, of course, that you're kind of like the teacher of the group. So when the teacher's away, the kids sort of mess around.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. I would expect nothing less from all of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
In
Proud
fact,
of you all.
on one of the Thursdays, did an interview with Mr. Morris.
Yes, I saw that pop up on my feed. I'm going to watch that. Definitely.
Yeah, it was quite nice.
Quite
Sorry,
good.
go on, Tim.
I was just going to say it was quite good.
Thank you. It's quite emotional at times, especially for Gary.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it was nice. It's nice getting to know him. I've got to do more. I need to do more. Maybe one a month or something like that.
Cool.
Until I run out of people to interview. Oh God, Julian's done a two-parter. Julian says, part 1, Mum was visiting a sister in Augsburg years ago. Once went out, she saw a road sign for Auschwitz, but my German uncle wouldn't visit. Understandable, as he's a committed pacifist. His father was killed on the Russian front.
That'll do it.
Well, yeah. Martin says, the FX 12 Spitfire is a cracker. Lovely. Oh, don't try and convince me to buy another Spitfire.
Again,
I've
that's
already
my job.
yeah. Well, I've got the Academy Mark 9 to do, and I've got the Airfix Mark 1 to do.
Yeah.
Got a
Kay's-
Mark 5 to finish as well.
Kay's just come in and she said, "You're not getting any more effing models."
Here, as it is. Go on first.
It's all right. At some point, Gary Evans is going to send me more.
Gary, send him a parcel. I will send it back to you with a bomb in it. Good bomb.
Kaylee,
With the bath bomb in it.
Squeaky wiggy.
Kaylee, stop it. That's too far, love. I know.
Dear.
We're on YouTube, love. There are rules.
I'm only joking. Get a grip.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Anyway, on with the chat. Paul says, many moons ago, I saw a copy of the Gutenberg Bible at Manchester Uni. I decided to learn calligraphy. I worked as a calligrapher for many a year. Cool.
There you go.
Oh,
Nice.
GM says, we'll soon be going to London, or be going to London soon, to film various artists and concerts. The same thing in France and then Germany. I doubt I'll have the time to go looking for you guys to have a beer with. Yeah, that's a shame.
that's pretty.
Yeah. You could have flown up here and taken us for a ride on a plane. Ian says, we had the competition stream last Friday with Grand Fromage and Skiffins. We did.
Yes.
Little Nia won the beginners one, and Tim won the experience category.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well
With
done
his-
both.
good bit of fun.
yeah, and he got a nice prize. Bob says, nostalgia mode engaged. Does anybody else remember when all real Airfix kits started with Cement Pilot 1, 2 seats 2?
Yeah. Yeah.
Julian says, Mikey, don't worry, you won't have to buy a Spitfire. Bob will buy a squadron of them and share them with everyone. He probably will. Bless him. Martin says, I've just finished the cockpit of the Brian Lane Spitfire by Qatari. It's only taken me 2 weeks. So yeah, not exactly a group build with a load of
Wow.
Airfix being built at the same time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's it's a joy to put that cockpit together, isn't it, Martin? Bloody wonderful.
David says,
did you put in the cables for the rudder and elevator?
hey, did you? David says, remember visiting Bergen-Belsen when stationed in Dortmund? It was very weird and quiet. Yeah.
Mm.
I used to look after an old gentleman who served in the Second World War, but he was in North Africa. And he said he went to visit Auschwitz when he went on holiday to Germany once. And he said it is the weirdest thing ever. He said, because as soon as you cross that fence line, all the birds stop singing and everything. There's no birds or anything. It's
Actually,
very strange.
I heard somebody else say that. Yeah.
GM says, Mikey, flying aircraft or tickets to see art and see concerts? Ooh.
Both.
Yeah. That could be another competition. Right. Now then.
Now then. Now.
Hmm.
Now then.
I've got to fit these handlebars onto the bars.
I don't think I have a drill small enough for this. Let's have a look.
Oops. What do you think? Or did it cut out?
I can't get my pen open.
Oh, sorry, what do we think of what, Mikey? I didn't hear.
I said, I wonder if oh shit, handlebars just gone. I wonder if Chloe's still watching or if we scared her off yet.
I think probably scared her off.
Oh, it's It's gonna be one of them, innit? Bloody. I hate chrome plastic pieces. They're horrible to work with. If I want something chrome, I'll bloody paint it myself.
It's not what you were saying last time. You're saying, I love the chrome pieces. I wish every runner was chrome.
I think you should kiss the north side of my butt.
Yes.
Ouch.
It's the intellectual cut and thrust that I've been missing for the last 3 weeks.
Clearly.
Yeah, well, for some reason, I seem to be on a bit hyperactive today. I don't know why. I'm putting it down
Full
to
of
possible.
joy of life. That's all it is, man. Joy of life.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
Yeah. Get back to the comments in a second.
7. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There it is.
I already know my answer to Gary's comment.
June says a good friend has a WAF and had a horrible job of guiding RAF officers around a decommissioned concentration camp and describing what happened. In the late 90s, she told me she still had nightmares. Yeah. GM says filming Bryan Adams live, Rammstein, new music video in Frankfurt, K-pop group in France. Your choice is. Oh, that's tough because I like Adams and Rammstein.
Yeah. Only one I like of that is Rammstein.
Yeah. Problem is I don't have passport, so it'd be no good to me.
Yeah, me either.
I always had you pegged for a K-pop guy.
Really?
Yeah. You probably have posters of BTS and Blackpink and stuff all over your house, don't you?
No, I have
You're
pictures
all about it.
I have pictures of the kids and a calendar of a train on it.
Which one's your favorite? I like the blonde one.
I thought you meant which is your favorite kid then. I was like, no, not going there.
I think you know. How does you know about all these?
Yeah.
Because
How do you know the names?
I'm hip and with it, yo.
Kaylee says
Yeah.
I just have ADHD.
We were talking about that before we went live, weren't we, Mikey?
Yeah. I've never been diagnosed with ADHD, but it wouldn't surprise me sometimes. June says, intellectual cut and thrust. Are you sure you're in the right place, Commander Evans?
Well, I had hoped I was. But, yeah. My hopes are still high.
Tim says, ha 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 ha. No, GM says to Tim.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Davey. Oh, there you go. That's working now. Yay. But I probably should have sanded the other side before I glued it on. Idiots. Shit. Oh, there you go. It'll come off anyway. So, what are your plans to do the rest of your day, guys? Gals? Everything in between?
Unpacking, tidying, unpacking, planning what I'm going to do the rest of the week. All the tiresome stuff about going away.
Yeah. But when you said you're coming in, did Maria just sit there in the middle of a pile of laundry going, are you taking the piss?
No, my dear wife is off at a physiotherapy appointment. So, well, she may well be back by now, but she's off at a physio appointment. So I thought, well, best use my time wisely. So I have.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I've got to tidy up in here and start planning what to do anyway, because I do need to get back to work, as it were.
Yeah.
Tossed
Well,
around for long enough.
we have missed you.
Well, thank you. But I've missed the chatter as well. It's as exciting as Central Europe on an all-inclusive luxury cruise is. You do miss a lot of home. I would say home comforts, and the chatter of your mates is a home comfort. So I have missed that.
Yeah. No, you mushy sod.
Yeah. Apart from abusive videos I get sent about various things, not least of which my former unit, of which I'm terribly embarrassed these days.
Yeah. We were discussing that
Absolutely.
the other day, weren't we?
You were absolutely right to say that. That was just, I think it started with the LEDs on the rifles in Queen's Colour Squadron. As soon as they started doing that, it was downhill from there. It's like, we're not taking this any part of our job seriously anymore, and that is very plainly the case.
Yeah.
To think when it was formed, the NCO cadre, senior NCO cadre of the regiment was drawn from the Guards.
Yeah.
You imagine what they would be thinking now, looking at this shower, let's say. They're an embarrassment. And as I said to you, I genuinely think, with the various cuts that have happened over the years, I genuinely think within 5 or 6 years there will the whole thing will be disbanded.
Well, they're sort of redundant now, aren't they? Because even
a lot of we don't have to have Harrier dispersal bases. We don't have to go and capture airfields. We don't have to do this, that, and everything else. And seeing as I wouldn't trust any of them with a games controller, they obviously can't fly drones either. So all they're going to do is march around and look pretty, and they can't even bloody march anymore. The last time I saw them on the telly, I just thought, who are these people? And what have they done with the Queen's Colour Squadron or King's Colour Squadron? They were awful. I mean, shocking. And allowing beards. I mean, I know I wear one now. That's because I'm not in uniform. Beards, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But the fairy lights on the rifles, that was the start of it. And it's been downhill ever since, I'm afraid. Proud as I am of the history and all the rest of it, and people have lost their lives and given their lives wearing the uniform. I think all of them would also be ashamed of what they have turned into now, frankly. Ashamed.
Well, my uncle is still in the infantry. Well, he's not infantry. He transferred out the infantry to a medic within it with the same infantry battalion. And they had the family fun day the other day. So obviously they had all the stands with the weapons on for the kids to play with and things. And the soldiers that were manning them all had beards and stuff. I was like, oh, it just looks so wrong.
It's terrible. Right.
It looks undisciplined.
It looks slovenly, frankly. I think. And it's a. I know times change and things change, and how necessary. And back in the day, it was necessary because to get a decent seal around your gas mask and not to have facial hair and stuff like that. I get all of that, but it's just a symbol. Pride in appearance and pride in manner in which you carry yourself reflects in your pride in your ability as a soldier in no matter what field you are, in my opinion. And these days, it just they're not short of bravery. Let's be quite plain about that. But I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me at all, I'm afraid.
It just looks undisciplined, doesn't it?
I'm no age.
Pioneer sergeants.
Yeah, I mean, in the Navy, chaps wearing a full rig, excellent. Yeah, Jack Tyler's a good lad, and if he chooses, that's grand. That that they have other ways of proving their very, very obvious abilities. But in the infantry and in the land forces, it just looks wrong. It just looks wrong.
The explanation they gave for it was if they go on tour, then they're going to have time to shave anyway. So when they're on tour, they got to shave because that's when they might need to use a respirator. But when they're not on operational tours, apparently they don't have to shave as long as they can.
In that case, they have to wear a uniform. In that case, do they have to salute officers? Do they have to do any of it? Drill and ceremonial, wake up at certain times. There are rules, and you stick by the rules. So the whole point of the whole thing is that the discipline, right back to the age of Napoleon, it's the discipline you practice on the parade square, and the discipline you have in your appearance is a discipline you carry onto the battlefield.
Exactly.
And I think even in this modern age, I think that still applies, because at the end of the day, with all the drones in the world, as in several fields of warfare at the moment, we're finding out there is still nothing as permanent and as persuasive as boots on the ground, as they say.
Absolutely.
All the drones you like flying over something don't mean you've captured a damn thing. You've got to actually stand on the enemy's territory in order to go. It goes all the way back to the art of war. Sun Tzu discussed this at some length about how you actually carry forward a war, and none of it was you float your balloons over his territory and with the candles in and say, "Ha, we've won." It's, you guys have got to go there. Guys and gals have got to go there, and they all still need the basic laws of discipline, and in order to do their job safely as much as possible, but also well. But that's just me being a crusty old git who thinks nothing's quite as good as it was back in the 80s. There we go. Including the
good
music.
old bad days.
Yeah, absolutely. I got into an argument with the compere. We had like one of the quiz nights was One Hit Wonders quiz night, and they played lots of music. You had to say who the band was and what year it was.
Yeah.
And it had like this one hit wonder in the UK, and one of them was the infamous "Shut Up, You Face," which in 1981 kept Ultravox's Vienna off the #1 spot in the UK. And I got into a huge row about the fact it was Joel Dolce Music Theatre, not Joe Dolce. So I demanded an extra point, which eventually he gave in on when he Googled it. 1981, a day of infamy, a day of absolute infamy. But there we go. Yeah, 80s. Love the 80s. Most of it.
Yeah.
I know, Mikey, you weren't born then. Don't before you even say it. I can hear you thinking.
Sorry, excuse me. I was born in the 80s.
I can hear you thinking.
I was born in the 80s. Yeah, 88. I was born.
Really?
Yeah.
Dear God, normally I mention that. I wasn't born then.
Do you know what? I've had a similar thing this week from a certain someone.
Yeah.
Telling me, pointing out that I'm old.
You are old.
Compared to you. Everyone's old compared to you.
Jeez.
That's right.
See, I can't remember out of me and Timmy who's the oldest, because we're both the same age. We're just months apart.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm November 1st, 94.
October 27th, 94.
Ooh.
So I'm
Literally.
only
Close run.
4 days older or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Before we go, Paul Tanker says, one of my aunts in World War II flew aircraft from base to base, and her sister rode dispatch on an old Triumph. Nice. Joe says, my old unit in Homeland Security has gone with the beard look also, and it looks terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't look right with uniform. Beards look awesome, but not with uniform.
The Royal Australian Air Force followed Britain with the beard thing within a year. It's pathetic, really.
Judy says, when Dad did national service in the army in 1954, the hair rule was basically everything below the beret belongs to us. So short hair and clean shaven. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And everything above the beret never gets seen, so we'll have that off as well.
Yeah. Bob says, nostalgia ain't what it used to be.
No. Nostalgia was so much better in the 80s.
Jim says things are more like they used to be when they are now, Bob, than they are now.
Absolutely.
Paul says, Gary, you're making me real ancient.
Nah.
And Jim says, Tim and age are the great time and age are the great equalizers. Tim and age.
Well, that statement's still correct.
Yeah. Equalizer.
I thought you were the Punisher, Jim. Tim.
Mate, the only thing I punish is dessert.
Bob says, apologies to all anticipating Beast. Still not well, so not attempting to climb to the post office. It's all right, bud. We've got plenty of time.
No rush. No rush, Bob. You take it easy. Keep well, mate.
You'll just have to write a list of everyone that you want to send one to, so Gary knows.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
David says 1954 for him. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. It's been a good day today.
Yeah.
It's
Good
been
to
more
catch up with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Timmy,
Yep.
Paul says, anyone from here remember the 60s? Gary?
I was 8 when the 60s finished, so I do remember the moonshot in 1969 and being up in the middle of the night to see that happen, the landing. I don't remember the World Cup.
John's actually too young, I think, aren't you, John?
I was born early 69.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Julian says, I thought the equalizer was Edward Woodward.
He was indeed back in the day.
Yeah. David says, Bob, let me know when you're okay for a meetup. Julian says 18 or 1960s, Paul. There we go. Right. So, Doctor Who and Star Trek. Yeah, it's been a good day today. We've had fun. We've got the members only live stream tomorrow, where I will be revealing who the mystery judge was and who they've chosen to win. And we're also going to do a we're going to do our own evaluation of the entries, aren't we, John?
Oh yeah,
our own critiques and things. So that should be fun.
That'll be good.
So yeah. If you want to join, Gary, you're more than welcome.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool. I'll get that.
Yeah, cool. So that'll be at 12 o'clock tomorrow, same time as always, 12 till 2.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's it from us.
Yeah.
So
Brilliant.
We'll see you tomorrow. Well, we'll see the members tomorrow. We'll see everyone else Thursday, 12 o'clock for the Rebel Big Boy build. Cool out, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.